Did you speak?
I'm saying it right, but it just doesn't sound familiar.
All right, you're destined for we're almost done here. You're destined for poverty.
Whatever, man.
Unemployment, poverty, and a reliance on welfare are things we tend to associate with a certain kind of person. Welfare queens and other subhumans. But according to the story. But we're kidding ourselves if we think that we're any different. Yeah, I'll follow you down the road of shenanigans here in a moment.
Well, there's part of this I agree with.
According to a recent Associated Press report, 80% of U.S. adults will fall into one or all of the categories at some point. Now, obviously, it's a statistical measure that doesn't guarantee everyone reading this will fall into poverty. But the shocking fact is that 78% of adults will experience poverty by the time they reach 60. The good news is that it'll probably last a maximum of a year unless you're particularly unlucky. The bad news is you'll have to spend that year being sneered at by every keyboard warrior on the internet. Now, that actually is true because I've been there.
Well, 78%.
I've actually been there.
That's probably true. But here's the beginning of that I didn't like because it's saying that people basically judge, which they do. They do to a certain extent. I don't think I'm any better than a homeless man. I think I'm probably better off, clearly.
Right.
But I don't think I'm any better of a person. You see what I'm saying? And people assume and they associate bad things with someone that maybe not as well off. And I don't agree with that.
I have been here before because I had a job for a while, lost my job, didn't have a lot of money, had to have help from my parents and all that. So I actually went to that route. Well, I never went quite that bad, but
I used to like them.
All right, last one. This one's interesting. Your memories are fake. What? Exactly. Scientists have known for a long time that memory is essentially unreliable. But finding out exactly how unreliable is weird to say the least. Remember where you were when you say 9/11 happened. Remember what you did. Well, now get this. You're probably wrong.
Why do they keep using 9/11 as an example? I'm a little annoyed at that.
In a famous you're not, oh yeah, I'm 1.3. You're not nearly as annoyed as you think you are. In a famous study.
Yes, I am, and don't tell me otherwise.
Students were asked to write down their experience of the exploding Challenger shuttle immediately after it happened. So they did a study. Students were asked, write down your experience of the Challenger exploding, and it happened right after the exploding happened, okay? All right. 3 years later, they were asked to write down their memories again and then compare the two. Creepily, the two versions almost never matched. One student even went so far as to claim of his original version, that's my handwriting, but that's not what happened.
Wow. Here's the thing I think all that is saying is your memory gets foggier with time. And of course it does.
All right, hold on. So even the brightest memories you have, the ones that are really seared themselves into your brain, probably didn't happen anything like you remember. But at least we haven't got to the stage where people are implanting false memories into your heads, right?
We don't really know.
Sorry, wrong again. 2002, researchers managed to convince a number of subjects that they had flown in a hot air balloon as children simply by showing them a doctored photo of the journey. Wow. The subjects created entirely fake memories around these photoshopped images that felt just as vivid as the real thing, which raises the awesome possibility that Chris Nolan never actually made Inception, but simply planted the memory of it in every single person's head on the planet. Boom! Mind blown!
Don't fall for this. Because all this is coming down to is people's memory gets foggier with time. If it has just happened, an incident, your memory's pretty good after it happens. However, 3-5 years from now, of course it's not going to be as great because it didn't just happen.
I completely disagree, and you want to know why?
It depends on what it was and how much it affected you.
Because I leave a show going, man, that was an awesome, really funny, interesting show,
and then
everybody
else goes, what just happened?
No, I go back and listen to it, and I go, wow, that was mildly mediocre.
Well, you're the exception to a lot of things. We'll just leave it at that and close.
I'm saying it right, but it just doesn't sound familiar.
All right. Thanks, April Madison.
No, thank you.
Hey, at least we accomplished something. We finished that list.
Oh, thank God. Yes, agreed.
James T. Harris this afternoon, 3 until 6 o'clock. Thank you so much for hanging out today, for listening, and for watching. We're back at it tomorrow. Katie Pavlich will join us on tomorrow's show, Fox News contributor and author of Fast and Furious, at 7:06. Have yourself a fantastic day.